Good morning and happy Monday. It's Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming to you on Memorial Day. I have a dragon to talk about, and I have a couple of other things that I just want to share with you. So first of all, today's dragon is imagination. And this is I love these colours. And it sort of that to me looks like imagination. And what the dragon wants us to know about imagination is upwards she soars, darting and dancing through galaxies and around the stars, filling her heart with joy and love. She surveys her handiwork. Everything around her has come from her own imagination, brought forth into this reality. She wants to let us know that all things birthed from humankind started from a spark of imagination. Use your imagination in the best way possible through new ideas, fresh concepts, and innovations possible. Everything in life starts there, and then we can turn those ideas into goals and then reality. Tap the energy of the source dragon and bring forth the world that you want. It all starts with your imagination. So, something to digest today, if you are fortunate enough not to be working. So, I've also shared with you in little snippets and a couple of my posts that as the Galactic Dragon Ambassador, I have been connecting with dragons that are out on planets. And they wanted me to share with you today. There's several that I don't have a lot of information, but the one that came through to me a couple of days ago sort of blew me away. And sort of every time I encounter something, and then I actually Googled it. I wanted to know if there were caves on Mars, and there were, and I posted the picture. So I'm going to read you. It's brief, what I've got from each dragon, and there's definitely a thread. And then, actually, before I go there, I'm going to talk to you about, I was fortunate to be one of, in the USA, this beautiful Christ Consciousness deck has just been released by Amanda Ellis. This is the actual book, and it's a self-mastery oracle. But beautiful. I mean, just stunningly beautiful. These are all hand painted. And as all of us that are working in the energy right now, the Christ consciousness has been, for me, has been the big thing that I've been carrying in on lots of messages, and certainly the energy. So we'll be during the week picking, allergies again. I will be choosing a card now and again from that Christ Conscious deck. It is really a self-mastery, but I think sometimes when we choose for ourselves, it's meant for other people. And the other goddess energy that has been coming through strong with me is Kali. Apparently with my accent, it doesn't sound like Kali. It's Kali. And I know her as Kali Ma, which probably a lot of you do. And the dragons actually told a friend of mine very clearly that I needed to get this oracle deck. I needed to learn about Kali. Now, if you look at her image, I've seen it before, and I'm like, oh, don't want to go near that. In fact, I do need to go near that. Even though she looks ferocious, she just brings a lot of really fire energy, and like and it's pretty lengthy. When you choose a card for yourself, that there's a lot to take in. So I have been doing this along with Kuan Yin. So I find her energy a little. It's always pink to me. It's pink. Kuan Yin energy. But if you haven't seen this or you don't know a lot about Kali, I would definitely say look into it. And I just wanted to read this for you. It says, "We need Kali's wildness and protection to ensure we do not turn away from where the path is leading or get stuck or distracted from what we need to do to activate our divine potential. Kali is the goddess from those who recognize that we have to be something of a divine badass to walk an authentic spiritual path. The spiritual path for all is beauty, lightness, and grace, but be fierce as hell. Awakening takes courage, although there is incompatible sublime bliss to be experienced. The path becomes increasingly narrow as we make progress. We can encounter severe pains of soul birth as the body is brought to the consciousness and the soul comes to life. Kali has unerring precision as to what is needed to break us free from our holding patterns, to ensure spiritual rebirth. Past patterns eventually give way to under the spiritual substance she develops within our soul. So you can see why I love the badass part. That is just like a paragraph out of this. So it's deep, it's intense, and I think when we're ready, I've certainly felt that narrowing of my path. Sort of my path was like way out here, and it's slowly coming in. Now I'm on this narrow path, and things are coming up again. But with somebody like her working with you, it is like amazing how it just like, it's almost like it clicks, like Lego clicks in. I almost feel like it's that clicking in. So I'm grateful that my dragons told me that was what I needed, because as you know, dragons are there to support us and to help us. They're not there to tell us. They're there to support us in what we're doing. And sometimes it's a course correction. Sometimes it's like, let's clear the path for you. I use my dragons every day to clear my path. So, you can use them how you need them. So I did want to just, where am I? Simon, 8 minutes. So I do want to just tell you about these these dragons that have actually, I now believe that these are dragons that after Atlantis ended, sunk, whatever your belief is about Atlantis, I've recently learned there's another history to Atlantis, and dragons were thought to be the root of the dragons were telling Atlantis the truth. They didn't like the truth, so they got rid of them in sometimes not nice ways. So many of the dragons scattered throughout the universe. Some were killed, some were imprisoned, and there are people out there that are able to find these dragons, or the dragons are calling to them. I believe these dragons that I have that have been calling me are dragons, probably from Atlantis. They're still scared, and as when I read this, you'll see I saw it as shy and didn't want to speak. I think that's still the case, and it's a matter of being patient and waiting, and apparently I'm very good at that. Throughout my life I've been patient and waiting, which has brought me to here. So I'm just going to read this to you, and I hope you find this helpful. I just love these messages I get. Oh, and if you haven't heard me talk about this before, I've been receiving from actually for 2 dragons now, I've been either hearing repeating numbers, or the other day it was I was seeing dots. So I was seeing like 5 dots, 6 dots. It was almost like a dice, and they were flashing, and all I could think was, let me write down the numbers, and then those numbers translated into a name. So excuse my voice. It's high pollen. I'm in Massachusetts, and it seems to affect my throat. So anyway, I'm going to push through because I'm not going to be deterred. So let me tell you. So the very first dragon that I encountered, I'm going to call him Abe, but the numbers I got, were repeatedly I got was 1, 5, 992, which actually, if you just do a straight alphabet, it was AEIIB. And I immediately said, Abe. He is a very dark blue colour, very shimmery, with piercing green eyes. And this was my conversation. I said, Abe, is this a name that is being transmitted to me? Do you want to use this name to connect with me? Are you Andromedan? Are you a galactic connection? And this was what I got back. You are my galactic connection, Abe. I will call you Abe. No one has claimed me. I am discreet. I use numbers to transmit, but I knew you would figure me out. I am from the outer galaxies, but where I am from doesn't matter really. What matters is right now. You knew instinctively that a new dragon would come through to you. I am not one you pick with your beautiful cards. They are indeed beautiful and galactic, but you, my dear friend, need your own brood of dragons. You are correct about sky dragons and sky people. You are a sky person and read the skies well. The dragons you see in the sky are yours. I am one of those you first saw. We will start at the beginning, and I will indeed send you codes, numbers, light language, and you may be my scribe. Ah, yes, you realize I am of the old ways, rather like Merlin, and my language will be in the likeness to that which you are familiar with. And then my response was, I sensed an octopus-like dragon this morning and heard the words Proteus, green eyes, high frequency. We'll use numbers we recognize in some contexts. Proteus is one of Neptune's moons, which is an irregular shape, and one of the darkest objects in our solar system. Proteus is one of many deities in a Greek sea god that changed shape. He's a shapeshifter, an early sea god of rivers, oceans, and bodies of water. He was also an Egyptian king in a version of Helen of Troy, and the planet Neptune is an outer planet, dark, cold, and whipped by supersonic winds. Most distant planets cannot be seen with the naked eye. So the planet Mars is a red planet. Its element is the Fire Master and is the god of war. And the next dragon I encountered came forward and told me his name was Arcturus, which means guardian of bears, and is a pale red colour with piercing deep blue eyes. He tells me that he lives in caves on Mars and is learning about what he calls life on Mars. He feels rather shy and has not had contact with other life forms. Earth to him is a faraway place. He needs time to acclimate to being able to do dragon things outside of his cave network. He would like to fly what is known as outside, but his family tell him it's not safe as they are small compared to other life forms who may prey on them. He is excited to connect with a galactic connector. He is very aware of his abilities to telepathically communicate. He doesn't know the words speak. All communication is telepathic. When he learns more about this channel, he will send a message. Good things come in small packages. Namaste, Arcturus. And then I encountered another small female dragon, and her name, she actually told me her name, is Amira, which means princess or promise to God, which is an Arabic name. This female dragon comes from Orion, and I encountered her during one of my I'll call it trips in my ET class. So with Dr. Lisa Thompson, we go on journeys, and I actually journeyed to Orion, and that was where I met this dragon-like, this is how I first encountered her. She had dragon-like features when I first encountered her, and I questioned if she was a reptilian. She is originally from Jupiter, which is a gas giant, the fifth planet from the sun and largest in the solar system, and a very windy planet. And she moved from that planet because she couldn't breathe. And just for information, Orion colonized Mars, so these two dragons are related. Then I encountered Priya, and Priya is Sangrist for love, and she is a Lyran dragon. She is a red and black tiger dragon, and she's another shapeshifter. So she shifts from dragon to tiger, but she has the same markings as a tiger, but in red and black. She's very cat-like, and so it makes sense that they would have cat-like dragons, and she hasn't really come through with much else for me yet. I also know that I had a lifetime on Lyra, or Lyra, however you want to say it, and I have actually seen myself as a white tiger dragon. And then my recent encounter, name was spelt out in numbers. So Ephray, E-F-R-A-Y, means fruitful, which is a Hebrew name. I got, so when I was walking my dog the other day, I was blinded by a light. This is what I wrote: I got blinded with light from the sun at dusk walking the dog, and saw dots and dice-like numbers. I counted 5, which equals E, 6, F. Then I heard Ephray, who is a male dragon, and as I said, the name I got, I googled and got goosebumps to confirm his name. He is on a red planet, maybe a red dwarf planet, lives in a cave that looks like so he lives in a cave-like constellation that looks like it could be the Big Dipper. I asked if Mars was close because I don't know anything about what's near or far. I googled caves on Mars, and there was a cave entrance. I put on my Facebook page just recently, and as I said, you can't make this stuff up. I've got several dragons that are telling me they're hiding in caves, and Mars, we've seen caves on Mars. He is small and shy, and I haven't yet got an image of him. I feel the need to connect to these dragons who are lost on the same planet, but I believe there is some healing to be done, as they may be the dragons who fled Atlantis and have been in hiding ever since. Arcturus is also shy and afraid to go on the surface and hasn't flown yet. So they were my notes. I often find if I don't write these things down, I forget, because sometimes I'm getting so much information. And I know those of you that channel, that often happens. And they say I have to sometimes just go, whoa, wait a minute, because I've got Kali Ma, I've got this beautiful universal dragons that love to talk to me, and the Christ light and the Christ energy. So I hope that has given you some insight into what's happening in my galactic world. I am still processing lots of things. I'm hoping to develop some sort of something around dragons. I'm not sure what that is yet. I'm just working with what information I get given. And as I've said before, sometimes I get nothing and then it all comes at once. So right now I'm in I had nothing, and now a lot of stuff is being downloaded. I also took Caroline Mitchell, who some of you know, who's done beautiful work on dragons, on Dragon's Path. I actually was fortunate to take 2 classes with her recently. She actually lives in England. And they were sort of mind-blowing, and everybody that was there, we all got different but same sort of messages, and we encountered our chakra dragons, which was awesome. So if you ever get the chance to do that, it's her thing, and I think she developed it a few years ago, but it's all just like connecting with your chakras, but connecting with the dragons in your chakras. So I'm still being integrated with that. That actually did, so it was a 6-hour class, and I could do nothing after that. I actually felt really good, but my body was like, no, you need to rest. I hadn't realised how intense that energy was until after the course ended. And I know that that is still being integrated into me. I also want to remind everybody, as I keep doing, about Dragon Thunder, which is the gathering of dragons and humans. The dragons have asked a friend of mine in England, Kevin Humphreys, to connect dragons and humans, or dragon riders, anybody that connects with dragons. It's been fascinating to see the people joining. Kevin was told that we need to gather 1,000 people. I know we're up to around about 350. So please spread the word about the Dragon Thunder, July 2nd. It's an all-day event. It was only going to be a few hours, and now it's, and we're already talking about a 2-day event next year. It's free. You do need to sign up for it. There's a Facebook group called Dragon Thunder. You only have to Google it. It's dragonthunder.info. Just sign up, and then it's being recorded, and it will be available again free on that Dragon Thunder Facebook page. And you can find me on www.eastcoastdragonlady.com. That's my website. Go and check that out. Or you can email me at eastcoastdragonlady@gmail.com. So I hope you have a good rest of your Monday, and I will be back again. Have a good one.